Good morning, UUCA. I said, good morning, UUCA. Please rise in body and spirit for our first two hymns. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts to everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Open, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. I love it, sounds great. Oh, we give thanks for the old and young, for a time of wonder, joy and fun, for all we give as we grow and live. Yes, we do. Oh, we give thanks for the old and young. Back to that first verse one more time. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, it's so precious. We're all gathered here, and those far away, far, far away, for this time we share with love and care, love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Sounds beautiful, y'all. Thank you.
Y'all sound pretty good out there. Wow. Good morning. I am Reverend Taryn Strauss, and it is a little bit of a family affair today. That was my husband, James Richards, joining us, leading songs and singing with us this morning. Yeah. I really don't do this enough, probably. Thank you. I am the senior minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, where we are here to transform lives through courageous action and soulful connection. Whose life? Yours. And hopefully others out there, hopefully this community, this world. We are so happy to come together this morning, Sunday morning, in these weird and wonderful times. And we honor this place where the Muskogee Creek Native people first cultivated this land. We hope that if you have made your way here today, if you are world weary, if you are here hoping to meet some new friends, well, we are glad you are here. If you are queer, if you are trans, if you love God and call God by God's name, if you honor reason and science and wonder, if you need no name for that which beckons to your soul, you are welcome here. You are more than welcome. You are cherished in this place where we are making a faith home and a center for art, activism, and love. Today, we hope you will join us later for our art show that's happening outside of this room, and a memorial service for our beloved Ruth Gogol, longtime member, beloved member of UUCA, which will take place at 1:30 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. I'm going to use this moment to just encourage you to do a couple of things. Please get your bivalent booster, your COVID booster. Stay on track with that so we can all stay up to date on the latest COVID vaccines. This is how we will keep each other safe. This is how we care for community. If you are feeling ill, well, we invite you to join us online. And if you're out there online at home, we hope you're enjoying this experience. And we want you to know that you are welcome too, and we cherish you. And if you think you might be catching a cold or coming down with something, well, please do keep your mask on. And I think this is just like reality now. And finally, you may have noticed we are in election season. If you have not already voted, please do make your plan and do vote this Tuesday. Our democratic process is sacred. It requires your participation. And if you have already voted, I want you to think of 5 people who you can get to the polls on Tuesday. 5 people. Maybe you drive them on Tuesday because they need a ride. Maybe you call them up and remind them, oh, it's time now. But just think of 5 people who still need to vote and make it happen for them. Make it happen for all of us. It is wonderful to be leading worship this morning with Laura Beth Brown, our Director of Religious Education, the always fabulous James Richards, and Willie Sullivan. So I would now like to welcome Ryan Wingfield to light our chalice this morning. Come on down, Ryan. Oh. As Ryan lights this morning's chalice, please join me in the chalice lighting words. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace. May it be so.
Mixing it up today, Ryan Wingfield. Keep it up. Milo imagines the world. What begins as a slow, distant glow grows and grows into a tired train that clatters down the tracks. A cool rush of wind quiets into a screech of steel, and when the doors slide open, Milo slips aboard. The train bucks back into motion as he and his sister squeeze onto bench seats. The whiskered man beside Milo has a face of concentration. A businessman has a blank, lonely face. The wedding-dressed woman near the far door has a face made out of light, while the dog peeking out of her handbag has no face at all, just a long, lolling tongue. These monthly Sunday train rides are never ending, and as usual, Milo is a shook-up soda. Excitement stacked on top of worry, on top of confusion, on top of love. To keep himself from bursting, he studies the faces of the people around him and makes pictures of their lives. At a local stop, the whiskered man folds up his crossword and hurries off the train. Milo imagines him trudging through brown mounds of slush. It's a 5-flight climb to his cluttered apartment where he is greeted by mewling cats. Parakeets tweet songs of longing as the man sips soup, hunched over a game of solitaire. Late that night, the door to the parakeet cage mysteriously falls open, and the cats gather on the cold sill to watch the birds fly free above the city. Milo tugs on his sister's sleeve and holds up his picture. But even when she turns to look, he can tell she doesn't see. She's a shook-up soda, too. A boy in a suit boards the train with his dad. His hair is a perfect part, and there's not a single scuff on his bright white Nikes. Milo imagines the clop, clop, clop of the horse-drawn carriage that will carry him to his castle, imagines the clink, clink, clink of the guard slowly lowering the drawbridge. Across the human-made moat, the boy is met by a butler, 2 maids, and a gourmet chef offering crust-free sandwich squares. Milo flips to a fresh page at a bustling city stop. When the wedding-dressed woman strides off the train, a band of street performers launches into "Here Comes the Bride," and everyone on the platform stops and cheers. Milo imagines the grand cathedral where the couple will be pronounced husband and wife, imagines the groom whisking his new bride to an awaiting hot air balloon, and up they go hand in hand beyond the concrete city walls into the infinite blue. Milo holds up this picture too, but his sister shoos him away. "Can't you see I'm playing my game?" He watches her thumbs bang around on her smudged screen and then turns back to the boy in the suit. They lock eyes for a long few seconds. And suddenly, it feels like the walls are closing in around Milo. The spell is broken when a crew of breakers bounds onto the train. Several curious faces look up as the beat drops. The girls are walking up walls, whirling around poles, and backflipping over shopping bags. When the train pulls into the next stop, they collect a few dollars and scramble for the next car. Milo imagines them going from train to train, doing their act as everyone watches. But even after the performances are over, faces still follow their every move. When they walk down the electronics aisle at the department store, when they cross into the fancy neighborhood. Milo doesn't really like this picture, so he puts away his pad and turns his reflection to the window. He sees his reflection and wonders, what do people imagine about his face? Can they see him reciting his volcano poem to the class? Can they hear his mom's soothing voice reading him a bedtime book over the phone? Can they smell the Chile Colorado bubbling in a pot in his auntie's apartment near the cemetery? Butterflies flood Milo's stomach when it's finally their stop. He follows his sister onto the cold platform and up the stairs. Above ground, he's surprised to see the boy in the suit a few paces ahead. He's even more surprised when the boy joins the long line to pass through the metal detector. "I didn't mean to snap at you," his sister says. She suddenly bends down to give him a hug. And she takes his hand, adding, "You have your picture ready?" He nods, feeling the warmth of her fingers. As they slowly shuffle forward, Milo studies the boy in the suit, his dad rubbing his thin shoulders. And a thought occurs to him. Maybe you can't really know anyone just by looking at their face. Milo tries to reimagine all the pictures he made on the train. Maybe he could have done it like this instead. Or this. Or this. Milo's chest fills with excitement when he spots his mom through the crowd. His sister rushes to give her a hug before pulling Milo in too. And it's in this tight tangle of familiar arms that he feels most alive. When they separate, Milo flips through his pad until he finds the right picture. "I made this for you," he says, holding it up. And he watches for a smile he hopes will spread across his mom's face. So I would like to invite the Wingfield family to the chancel to lead us in this morning's movement prayer. So please rise in body or spirit and join us. First, we bow to honor the Spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of Spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present, honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present. Amen. Blessed be. Thank you. So at this time, we would like to invite our children, 3rd grade and under, to exit and join preschool or their creative workshop for the morning. And these classes can be located right down the hall on the 1st floor. Very excited. We have painting today, full body, big painting. Yes. As our children recess, please take this opportunity to greet your neighbor.
If you're gonna live, then live it up. If you're gonna give, then give it up. If you're gonna walk the earth, then walk it proud. If you're gonna say the word, you gotta say it loud. You got to fight, fight, fight for your mind. You got to fight, fight, fight for your mind. While you've got the time, you got to fight, fight, fight for your mind. Yes, you do. Yeah. Oh, oh. If you're gonna build a house, make it a home. If you're gonna pull some weight, you gotta pull your own. If you're gonna help reach out your hand. If you're getting up, you gotta take a stand. You gotta fight, fight, fight for your mind. You got to fight, fight, fight for your mind. While you got the time, you got to fight, fight, fight for your mind. If you're gonna step on in. If you're gonna finish, you got to begin. Don't you feel what you don't know? Just let that be your room to grow. You got to fight, fight, fight for your mind. You got to fight, fight, fight for your mind. While you've got the time, you got to fight, fight, fight for your mind.
When you go out and when you return. In times of mourning and in times of joy, inscribe them on your doorposts, embroider them on your garments, tattoo them on your shoulders, teach them to your children, your neighbor, your enemies. Recite them in your sleep, here in the cruel shadow of empire. Another world is possible. Thus spoke the prophet Roque Dalton. All together they have more death than we, but all together we have more life than they. There is more bloody death in their hands than we could ever wield unless we lay down our souls to become them. And then we will lose everything. So instead, imagine winning. This is your sacred task. Imagine every detail of winning, the exact smell of the summer streets in which no one has been shot, the muscles you have never unclenched from worry gone soft as newborn skin, the sparkling taste of food when we know that no one on earth is hungry, that the beggars are fed, that the old man under the bridge and the woman wrapping herself in thin sheets in the back seat of her car and the children who suck on stones nest under a flock of roofs that keep multiplying their shelter. Lean in with all your being towards that day, when the poor of the world shake down a rain of good fortune out of the heavy clouds and justice rolls down like waters. Defend the world in which we win as if it is your child. It is your child. Defend the world in which we win as if it is your lover. It is your lover. When you inhale and when you exhale, breathe the possibility of another world into the 37.2 trillion cells of your body until it shines with hope. Then, imagine more. Imagine rape is unimaginable. Imagine war is a scarcely credible rumor that the crimes of our age, the grotesque inhumanities of greed, the sheer and astounding shamelessness of it, the vast fortunes made by stealing lives, the horrible normacy it came to have, is unimaginable to our heirs, the generations of the free. Don't waver. Don't let despair sink its sharp teeth into the throat with which you sing. Escalate your dreams. Make them burn so fiercely that you can follow them down any dark alleyway of history and not lose your way. Make them burn clear as a starry drinking gourd over the grim fog of exhaustion, and keep walking. Hold hands. Share water. Keep imagining so that we and the children of our children's children may live.
Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? They are sowing seeds of gladness. Day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear fathers? Oh, where are our dear fathers? They are in the fields of plowing. Day is a breaking in my soul.
Let us put hands on hearts. Feel the heartbeat, connection to life. Breathe in peace. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love can heal this world. At this time, we hear the joys and sorrows of this congregation. the family of Ruth Gogol invites us to celebrate her life at her memorial service at UUCA. This service will be held today at 1:30 p.m. Let us hold Wynne Jolly in our thoughts and our hearts. Wynne is having a difficult recovery after recent surgery on her leg. Together, let us send Wynne healing energy. You are invited now to say the names of people you are holding in your heart this morning, someone who can use some extra loving energy coming their way. Please write their names into the chat or speak their names out loud into this holy space now. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort. May all of us find more ways to be more loving. Spirit of life, love eternal, we rest in holy gratitude. We surrender to a mystery beyond ourselves, asking forgiveness for our mistakes, those times we have been selfish or thoughtless. Breathing in and out, we offer grace. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. Breathing in, we honor our earth that supports and sustains all life. We open our hearts to wonder. For just one moment, experience a deep connection with all beings. Let us calm our bodies and our minds. We breathe in peace and we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the silence.
Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul.
You may not be aware, but the timeline for the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta's stewardship campaign is getting tighter. In order for the congregation to have a budget to pass at your meeting in December, you need to have all the pledges come in. At this point, we still have over 200 outstanding pledges. That's a lot. To get to the above and beyond goal, I love that graphic. So if someone calls you or texts you or emails you from UUCA about your pledge, please reply and set up a nice visit with them as soon as possible. That's like an ASAP thing, like yesterday, today. I had my pledge visit recently with Barbara Begner. It was lovely. She came over to my house one morning, and we talked about our dreams for UUCA, for this house that love built. We discussed our shared dream of this place becoming a hub in Atlanta, a place where people come from all over to learn about great writers and thinkers, to hear beautiful music, experience poetry and art that challenges their thinking. A center for activism, where leaders are trained to be activists and advocates for justice, because nothing will be needed more than this in the coming years. But most of all, we talked about how this can be a place where we make heaven on earth, where we find common ground and common calling in a world that wishes to divide us. A fount of inspiration and soulful connection we can return to again and again to get us through our lives. Our dreams, they are big, but they are very real. They are possible. In fact, they are happening. The next day, James and I discussed our pledge, and we made the decision to raise our pledge for 2023. We went to the UUCA website. We very quickly found there's a banner right there on the front page that took us to where we would make our pledge online. It took us about 2 minutes, and now we're done. We have made our pledge, and in some ways, making our pledge felt a little bit like casting our ballot, too. It felt good, like we were doing one thing, just one thing to bring about a better world. Just one crucial action that proclaimed our values and gave us a sense of purpose. The stewardship team is asking each one of us to raise our pledge from last year by 30% so we can fit into the size of our dreams for 2023. The budget is slim. It keeps our staff appropriately compensated for all they do. And it keeps the lights on, these lights, in fact, in this beautiful faith home. It's nothing less than what we need to keep going beyond what we had ever imagined, to make this a place where love guides us and heals our world. So today, UUCA leaders will be right outside the sanctuary, a number of tables that will be set up right here, and also, I think, in the hallway, and also, I think, in the fellowship hall as well, and they will be ready with laptops to receive your pledge. They will even have paper pledge forms, going all the way back to the late 1900s. We hope to receive 50 pledges today. That's a lot, just for one day. So please go and see these lovely people. I think it's Barbara, Jason Delaney, Letta Wu, Maureen McAndrews, and another person who I can't remember, but who's equally wonderful will be out there ready to talk with you. So please stop by on your way out. This is really the only way that we keep this whole group project going. It takes each of us. So after the service, head out to a table with a friendly stewardship leader and go ahead and make your 2023 pledge today. And now we will have this morning's offering, which is like a whole other thing. It's not next year's pledge, but it is another opportunity to be generous to a place and a people we believe in. At this time, this morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Still some light for this frail humankind. Still some hope, some end in sight. Still some light for this frail humankind. Still some grace in troubled times. When this world seems like a marketplace where souls are bought and sold, and it's all too easy for a soul to grow cold. When this world seems like a marketplace where souls are bought and sold, God knows it ain't easy. Don't give up on it all. Still some light for this frail humankind. Still some hope, some end in sight. Still some light. Still some light. Still some light.
The other person is Rich Hammett. That's the other person who will be at the table. Thank you, James. Thank you. Blessings on your generosity on this moment that is calling you to give maybe more than what is comfortable, but what is enough for all of us, for all of our collective dreams to continue each and every week inspiring more and more people who desperately need to come to that well again and again. Blessings upon you and on this gift. Please join me now in the dedication of this offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community. We dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. Congregation, let us breathe in. And as we do, let us breathe in deeply, noticing our breath and our bodies. And as we breathe out, I want to invite you all into a nice long hum. Let's do that now. Are you all right? It seems like we are not all right. There is death visiting us, so many of us in this community, and too much of it too soon, too young. It is fall, and the leaves are falling, and some of us are falling. Some of us are falling ill, are falling into depression, are falling into exhaustion, are falling into despair. For times such as these, you need a sixth sense. Proprioception is sometimes called the sixth sense, otherwise known as kinesthesia. This is your body's ability to sense movement, action, and location. It is present in every muscle movement you have, Without proprioception, you wouldn't be able to move without thinking fully about each step you take. Proprioceptive signals are transmitted to the central nervous system, where they are integrated with information from other sensory systems, such as the visual, the vestibular, that's balance, to create an overall representation of body position, movement, and acceleration. It is your sense of spatial awareness creating feedback to your brain that tells you what's going on around you. Is there a predator nearby? Am I at ease? It is very helpful on a hike. And one reason we know to walk over a root or to avoid a thorny branch. And one could argue that in times of comfort and ease, our senses are somewhat dulled, and in times of acute danger, they are on high alert. This is the sense that tells us the right grade of force to use when we are, say, cracking an egg. So that's why young children don't actually sometimes have an underdeveloped sense. So some of my kids cracking an egg took many, many tries, or pressing a button, right? If we don't engage our proprioceptive system, we might become acclimated to things we should not. And watching the local weather channel yesterday, I noticed how the weather reporter was celebrating the high temperatures in November. Because isn't it convenient? And yet, convenience is not a spiritual value, my friends. And the insidious rise of the temperature, like the insidious rise of fascism, does not happen overnight. It happens slowly, right under our noses, as we adjust in small ways, without seeing how what we are adjusting to would have been unthinkable just a few months ago. And this is what Martin Luther King meant when he talked about staying creatively maladjusted to rising inequities. It's like a sixth sense, a feeling that something is just not right. I wonder if you have ever known someone who lived an entire life of creative maladjustment to the forces of oppression and injustice. Have you ever known anyone like that? I have. Last week, I was not here because I was attending a memorial service for my for Toby Emmer. She was my father's oldest friend. They had bonded in the 8th grade in Cleveland, Ohio, because both their parents were both card-carrying members of the Communist Party. And their families were each suffering real-world consequences such as eviction and unemployment. Toby lived an activist's life for all 78 years of it. In the early 80s, she ran for sheriff in Madison, Wisconsin on a platform of defunding the police. Her slogan was, it is really funny. If you knew her, you would definitely think this was very funny. Her slogan was, "Whose law? Whose order?" She worked for the United Auto Workers for many decades in their adult education department, teaching English as a second language and GED preparation to recent immigrants. Her memorial service at Riverside Church in New York last week was really more of a rally, marching out a kaleidoscope of causes from union and labor rights to Puerto Rican independence to nuclear disarmament to pro-Palestinian causes to freeing political prisoners such as Mumia Abu-Jamal. And I remember in 2006, my wedding to James, at an Episcopal chapel in an Episcopal camp in Western North Carolina, we had a time of, in the middle of the ceremony, a time of Quaker silence where people would maybe stand and speak if the Spirit moved them to speak. And in the silence that day, or out of the silence, Toby Emmer stood and spoke about Muslims who were experiencing the threat of United States retaliation for 9/11 in the middle of the wedding ceremony. She stood and named people and places that were at war. She named political prisoners in faraway lands. My husband's parents and grandparents were horrified. But James and I understood Any celebration of love is also a time to name the places where love is not reaching. Our love is in fact strengthened by our connection to those who are in crisis and struggle. In our abundant feast, let us never forget those who are going without food or without safety. Our love was magnified by the gathering of oppressions and injustice into that moment, and Toby knew the truth that even at our most joyous, freest moment, none of us are free until all of us are free. And for Toby, there really was no boundary between the personal and the political, and joy could not wait until the cause was won. Every action must include joy. I want to make it clear how joyful Toby was, how fun and funny she was. She was so deeply joyful, always smiling and laughing, always cooking spinach pie and bringing more than enough to share, because the work was hard and the battles were epically long and often unwinnable. And she didn't keep her joy compartmentalized apart from the justice work. It was all mixed in together. She would multitask like that. I mean, the social call with my dad would quickly become a call to arms about something, while the rally or the organizing meeting often just included a ton of jokes, good food, and socializing. See, Toby could see beyond the moment at hand. She saw that a movement had to begin in friendship and delight, and that a joyful life could only be joyful if it was spent working for justice, whether or not you ever freed the captives or destroyed the weapons. She saw how oppressive systems were many-tentacled, and so she became an effective organizer of various movements, making issues more visible to people who had not yet seen how much freedom is possible. To see things as they truly are need not lead to despair. I'm going to say that again. To see things as they truly are need not lead to despair. And we may be afraid, and that's okay. There are situations at play that are not always easily visible to all of us. This past week, I finally had the opportunity to see Jordan Peele's excellent thriller, Nope. Has anyone seen Nope? All right, I'm going to preach on Nope. Okay, I'm not going to spoil it, though. I mean, it's a thriller, and Jordan Peele really doesn't want people to spoil his films. I'm going to try not to. But it's worth watching. A key theme of this film is a concept he calls spectacleization. It's when everyone is looking at the big, giant spectacle, you see them? With the desire to be entertained. And so what they miss, and their desire to be entertained, they miss the very real danger that that spectacle presents. They cannot see it for what it is until it is too late and they have been fully consumed by it. Now, Jordan Peele wrote and developed this film during the Trump presidency, and his message is clear. You must look more closely. You must have your wits about you. See things for what they are, and use all of your senses to see the truth of the situation around you. This is how you stay alive in the film Nope, and I'm feeling increasingly concerned that this is also how you stay alive right here on Earth. These are terrifying times. I mean, nearly half the country is willing to forgo the democratic process in order to maintain political power over others. Not only that, but there are bad actors who are infiltrating leftist organizations, stirring up controversy, fake fights, accusing each other of wokeness or cancel culture, and I worry about all of us, that we are in danger of being caught up, being consumed by 1,000 things that don't really matter, while the real danger is preparing to consume us all and our way of life, or it has already begun. And my nervous system has been running haywire too, and I'm not always sure precisely where to begin, where to direct my energy. I wonder if you feel some of that confusion at this time. And there is a lot to grieve right now, too. That person who I was telling you all about, Toby Emmer, she's no longer alive. all that verve and energy. We are losing some of our best and brightest justice warriors. And so we must become them. Maybe what we need is to make more time and space for grief, to confront the grief, to make a place for it at the table. I mean, our grief is connected to our love, our passion. And things at UUCA are not always visible to all of us. I mean, being in community with people who do not all agree about mask policies and foundational principles and how best to be anti-racist and how best to be Unitarian Universalist, it's very hard. But I am not in it for easy. I'm not in it for easy, church. There are easier churches out there, I know. But right now, I think we are being called to action and to figure out with our sixth sense what pressure to apply, where to apply that pressure, how to sense what is really going on around us. We just have to do the next right thing. The next right thing is all we have to do, really. This Tuesday, I will be serving as an election defender. And this is the way that I will begin to apply pressure, by just being a joyful, friendly face to voters standing in lines that will probably be too long, encouraging them to stay in it, to make their voice heard. And if there is any challenge to their freedom to vote, to de-escalate that challenge. And the central task of de-escalation is to connect with someone and to breathe. It is easy to disassociate from the rising political danger. This is your mind seeking the most comfort, and I do it too, we all do. But comfort and convenience are not spiritual values. If you look around the city at the way people are living, you can see evidence of how suburbanism has driven so many folks away from one another to larger plots of land, larger bubbles of comfort. Withdrawing from the world, we can get used to that space as a cushion around us. You know, the truth is, even before COVID pandemic, there was already a spiritual pandemic of isolation taking shape, one that does not serve a culture of sharing resources. But most of us who are engaged in this old-time religion, we know that there is something about this binding to one another that asks us to get closer to people than we otherwise would. And waking up to the rise of fascism does not mean you have to lose everything, but it might mean you have to share your guest room with people who are immigrating, either from an untenable climate or government oppression. But when you open your home, the good news is you get more connected to people, to culture, to joy. Resistance is very joyful. That is what I learned from Toby. Fascism can shift what is acceptable as normal. I mean, the German Holocaust, it began with small changes, right, under the Nuremberg laws. First, withdrawing vocational opportunities for people of Jewish ancestry. Early on in Hitler's reign, the lives of non-Jewish German citizens were barely disrupted at all. So our task is both spiritual and it is communal. If we know how to do this thing, welcoming the stranger, living with joyful resistance, then we will do it when it matters the most. But first we have to see things as they truly are. Then we organize our resistance and our service, our acts of service. If we can be creatively maladjusted to injustice, then we will not despair. We will joyfully resist. I'm talking about a network of mutuality right here at UUCA. What I'm saying is that if you decide to open your home to someone who is undocumented or who is fleeing forest fires in another place, or storms, well, then someone else in the church is just going to have to bring over dinner to feed that family that's at your home. See, the world will most likely become more and more complex in the weeks and the months and the years to come. And we need not face that alone. And we need not give up on the world we dream of. So let us activate all our sensors, our proprioceptors, engage our spidey sense, really, that's how I think about it. and see what's happening around us. So in order to really activate and experience that sense, congregation, I want to invite you into something a little strange. I want to invite you into three things. I'm going to read the Vahavta, the poem from earlier. And as I read it, I'm going to invite you to do one of three things. You can either stay seated and stretch. You can stretch your body. Or two, you can stand and slowly walk around the space, feeling your body in space. Or three, you can lie on the floor and look up. Those are the three options. Sitting still is not one of them. Okay, ready? So I'm going to read it. Oh, here come the lights, so you can see where you're going. So just let the words wash over you. Let yourself feel your body in space. Say these words when you lie down and when you rise up, when you go out and when you return, in times of mourning and in times of joy. Inscribe them on your doorposts, embroider them on your garments, tattoo them on your shoulders, teach them to your children, your neighbors, your enemies. Recite them in your sleep. Here in the cruel shadow of empire, another world is possible. Thus spoke the prophet Roque Dalton. All together we have more they have more death than we, but all together we have more life than they. There is more bloody death in their hands than we could ever wield, unless we lay down our souls to become them, and then we will lose everything. So instead, imagine winning. This is your sacred task. This is your power. Imagine every detail of winning, the exact smell of the summer streets in which no one has been shot, the muscles you have never unclenched from worry, gone soft as newborn skin, the sparkling taste of food when we know that no one on earth is hungry, that the beggars are fed, that the old man under the bridge and the woman wrapping herself in thin sheets in the back seat of a car and the children who suck on stones nest under a flock of roofs that keep multiplying their shelter. Lean with all your being towards that day when the poor of the world shake down a rain of good fortune out of the heavy clouds, and justice rolls down like waters. Defend the world in which we win as if it were your child. It is your child. Defend it as if it were your lover. It is your lover. When you inhale and when you exhale, breathe the possibility of another world into the 37.2 trillion cells of your body until it shines with hope. Then imagine more. Imagine rape is unimaginable. Imagine war is a scarcely credible rumor, that the crimes of our age, the grotesque inhumanities of greed, the sheer and astounding shamelessness of it, the vast fortunes made by stealing lives, the horrible normalcy it came to have is unimaginable to our heirs, the generations of the free. Don't waver. Don't let despair sink its sharp teeth into the throat with which you sing. Escalate your dreams. Make them burn so fiercely that you can follow them down any dark alleyway of history and not lose your way. Make them burn clear as a starry drinking gourd over the grim fog of exhaustion, and keep walking. Hold hands. Share water. Keep imagining so that we and the children of our children's children may live. Amen. Actually, you're supposed to rise in body and spirit.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. Joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
We need not be overwhelmed by the enormity of the world's chaos, grief, crisis. All we need to do is the next right thing and call 5 people and get them to vote and get your booster shot. The next right thing, that is the step that you must take. And the one after that, slowly and slowly bringing about the world we all dream of living in. Because we know
There is more love right